Well, that was for Loud. They take map 1 against Gen.G in this arena with the crowd behind them. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm back on the desk once again with Mitch and Tom. We had a few questions. How are the newbies going to do on Loud? And Tom, do you feel like they answered some of your queries?
Well, that's the thing. Kawazine is someone we have seen before in NIP and was always very good. But let's be real, being in Brazil, the pressure goes up. 17 years of age. He was by far the best player in the server. Absolutely impeccable performance from him individually. And honestly, I'm really excited to see how far he's going to go, because this was map 1 that he's played with the team.
Yeah, I mean, we highlighted him a little bit at halftime and said, you know, we expect a good performance coming out in the second, but absolutely unbelievable what he was able to field here. I mean, we're seeing why himself and Zand were such hot prospects coming into this season, why Crew ended up with Zand, and why this man here is now on Loud. He's also role switching as well, playing the Sky and looking fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's obvious to give an honorable mention to King as well. I think some of the lurks, he had a fantastic Meteor on the entry, and Gen.G had some great setups, but this man just did so much. He was normally like the second player in, and a lot of the time that's who you expect your superstar to be. Like that's where you would sort of place someone like Les in the past, and Les he was lurking, and just ultimately where Sassy would be. So the fact that he's managed to fill into this role so perfectly, but also have some really big clutch rounds as well.
So this guy was, I mean, he was good in the first half, fantastic in the second. I think, like, realistically, there's a couple of players that certainly looked a whole lot more comfortable when we swapped over, and the very much getting to set the pace was Loud's game. I mean, you could see that defense. Maybe it was the Harbor, I'm not sure, but there was a little bit of panic there. Completely dissipated in the second half.
I mean, even the crowd, there was a difference, right? First half, I feel like in the beginning it was great. We had loads of cheers, but in the second half, Tom, they really came alive.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it does help when your team wins, like, what, 7, 8 rounds in a row. It's quite easy to get hyped for that one. Obviously, there was a moment where they got silenced. It was proven it was possible with the string of rounds.
7 in
a row that came through for the side of Gen.G. So they're going to have to try and focus on that going forward. Like, okay, we can silence them. They had a lot of really cool setups that sort of helped them out to do that. The thing is, though, this crowd, literally 1 or 2 kills go the other way, and they're already getting pumped.
Honestly, especially that clutch as well. I'm so glad that Sadak managed to do that in front of a Brazilian crowd. That was just a moment. When it comes to Gen.G, honestly, Mitch, I don't think you spoke enough about how this roster came to be. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time to
get that graphic back up. Let's go. We're in October 2020, and it's going to be the start of the journey. We had Meteor. We had TS. We had... You know, I might get a nice board. I've seen some of those formula before. This can be flashbacks to uni, please. I have PTSD kicking off.
How'd you do it, uni?
Not too great. Didn't finish it. Now I'm here. You know, it is what it is. You know, I think one thing that has to be said, though, for me coming into this game, I had some doubts about Loud. I think, like, it changed a lot, and we saw losing 7 straight rounds, fraud in the coaching seat. I had a little screen preview of him here the whole time. He was not looking very happy, and they managed to bounce right back into that in the second half. I'd love to see some of the behind the scenes that went into that.
Yeah. And one of the guys I feel like was spearheading that comeback, how they did in the second half, was Sadak. He is in the AIM Lab shoot-around right now, warming up for the next map. But there was a bit of a contrast here, of course. And Tom, I think in the first half, maybe his IGLing could have been questioned, but in the second half, I don't think anybody could have any queries.
That's the thing. When it comes to being an in-game leader, a brand new team, especially a team that's incredibly young, like, you kind of lost your experience. Like, Sassy was someone who was around for such a long time, and even in other esports had a lot of experience. Pancada, the same, whereas players like Les, even Aspas is quite young still and also very aggressive. And then you brought in some even younger players. So on the defensive side, you have to micromanage. You have to basically listen to every single player, work out what they're doing, try and pick the right play to move, while also being a site anchor and seeing they're going, okay, they're coming towards me, I now have to do this, while all the rotations are coming back through, calling people and moving them around. On attack, you have your strats, and you can sort of set up where the team are going to go, what you're going to do, and almost manage them along the way. And we saw his individual level go from the worst player in the server to one of the best.
And I think that's where we have to look on the other side then for Gen.G and think, okay, when it comes to leadership and experience, sure, we mentioned someone like King as having a ton to work. Oh my! Bounce back from the Gen.G. We'll talk about that later. The first to second half difference there from Sadik. I mentioned Kawazine. Good in the first half, fantastic in the second. This guy, he dialed it up a notch.
Yeah, it was a completely different showing from him. And as I said, I think that comes down to just being able to micromanage a little bit less, have your set strats, which you've worked on. I think a lot of the time that's a lot easier to do on the attack. So I think he did a fantastic job, and we can kind of expect that.
So the thing I was going to say as well was on this sense of leadership, King, ton of experience, he'll be able to help out. But leading on the international level for TS, this has got to be a struggle for him. I mean, you're sitting here for the first time in front of this crowd and they're getting loud every time you're getting taken down. I imagine that's certainly going to be a little bit of a thing gnawing in the back of your mind.
Yeah, let's talk about Fracture as we go on to Gen G's pick here. Again, I personally didn't really expect to see this map, but I mean, Gen G must be coming with something. Again, Tom, they have to, because if they lose this map, they're going home.
Yeah, this is one of the maps that we did actually get to see them play at the prior tournament. They got absolutely battered by DRX, but I will say a lot of the time you're going to learn a lot more from a loss than you will a victory. Probably changed up the comp quite a bit. Even the meta is completely different to when we were at that tournament. So I would expect that with how set up and ready they were for Pearl, especially on their attacking side, going into Fracture, I think they're going to have a lot of ideas.
I mean, both teams, they heavily lean into the chamber. The last time we saw them play it.
Les was unreal.
Yeah, and for Loud, that was a while ago. We have seen some chambers already, but surely they're not going to go there here. There's going to be something new.
Hey, listen, they were playing against DRX with a chamber, with stingers on second rounds. I mean, it could have been a completely different game. Oh, it'd be interesting if we get these agents locked in. We get
three chambers. One is not enough, but of course, this is the Prime Gaming agent select, and so far, no chamber.
Yeah, no, it's a map where I think it's still definitely possible with the level of aggression, but not overly surprised.
Sadak on the race!
I want to know what Aspas is actually playing now. Okay, they're going in with the double.
Both sides are going double duelists.
So I really like seeing the Neon still in play, but this is definitely an interesting change.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that they described Echo as an initiator in their interviews earlier on, but this is a bit of an anomaly when he comes in and plays the Neon. We've seen it before. This is somewhere that he certainly has some experience, but I mean, they've got to be tuned in from the very get-go. This is a map they got dominated on before. So much must have changed.
I'm going to sell you something. Sadak played Raze one time before, and he got 316 ACS. So I'm looking forward to see what they can do here. Certainly, Pansy and Hypoc, a very different look from both sides.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I'm a little curious what we're going to see here and what we can see here. We have a little technical issue on our side of things, so we'll figure it out. Who'd have thought it? It's us. But yeah, we have to wait for the game to get ready and all of that business anyway. But let's then talk about what this map kind of entails to you. What do you instantaneously think of when you're seeing this map now coming into play here?
Yeah, I mean, with a team like Loud, again, actually slightly surprised to see the Neon on the other side of things, right? Again, this is one that kind of leans into their pedigree, right? As a name in Valorant, and that ability to really control some of that aggression, create that chaos that we were alluding to on Pearl. We didn't see an awful lot of it with that composition, but this certainly, again, I'm worrying once again about the lack of a Sentinel. On the side of Gen G, it's going to have to be committed. It's going to have to be very, very heavily invested to get this composition to work. And obviously, on the flip side of things, Loud actually going for a single initiator in trade of obviously having the Killjoy there, but still the double duelist.
Yeah, I think the compositions are something either we're going to just learn on the fly and see how we feel about them, or just kind of figure it out as we go along, because there's been some curious statements. I mean, Scream saying that doesn't even like a duelist. So, you know, we've seen some really interesting things. As I said, we have to wait to see how it actually looks in the server. These are still very early games. We have to see how these players now manage to kind of, I guess, customize to these new rosters. But all that said and done, thank you for the patience. We are just trying to sort a couple of bits out this side of things. You know, it's a little hot in the venue, a little warm. There's people in here. We're having a great time. But outside that map one that's going to roll back, do you think some of the worries you had then with Gen G's agent select, or agents coming up, was actually some of the reasons that we had problems in that game for them? Did that actually come through as an issue, or is that just something you're worried about overall?
Overall, yes. I mean, the one thing to note as well, we obviously talked about King filling those shoes a little bit on the Viper, and he was so hyper aware to what was going on around the map and when. The problem being here with the one controller, right? You can't really commit a second player towards having that sort of role there to really shut down the flanks, shut down some of those second layers of pressure that we were talking about. But the other thing to consider, Loud's ability to really find opening engagements, find a kill. That's going to be concerning once again as we come in here, because King is actually on the KO now.
Yeah, straight into things. We'll have to see how this shakes down. Already noting a little bit of information here. TS deciding it's time to commit early enough in this. Doesn't want to risk anything. As information being found on the other side of the map. 3 players going for a walkout here. And that's been met. That's going to be seen. And that's going to be relayed.
And the fault line will come in response. Tempered aggression for the time being. Gen.G will peel away. Aspas, though, going to get a little curious towards B site.
Does he get the timing on this, do you think? I guess they need
Doesn't look like
contact or
Gen.G.
something?
Yeah, they're going to tuck themselves in here, just playing off each other's contact. But it is only Aspas here. As I say that, Gen.G are starting to drift a little deeper on A site. I think Atsi on the back of that knife invested towards drop. No, Nico's going to find the contact here.
I'm still waiting to see if Aspas gets any value from this. It's down to 30 seconds now. The patience.
He's heard the steps here from TS.
Okay, that's 1, but there is still a second. And they're going for the double
Slipped
pump.
the net.
They're coming right back around. It's on Meteor, basically. Oh my word, the shoulder peak was enough. He was able to back away from this, and that shorty's going to send him packing. Aspas down to 24 HP, 13 seconds, and they're being denied. The Spike might have issues on the site now. They're trying to follow on through. Meteor trying to play his life. 7 seconds, and it's going to be denied. Massive work coming out from Gen.G.
Great clean up from Gen.G, honestly, with how the timing of Aspas getting away. I think actually potentially would have had open sight lines towards TS. I think he's just so cautious with such a huge gap between him and his teammates. Trying to make sure that he can absolutely find value. Again, of course, it's a shorty he's facing off against in tower. Look like they're setting up, clear up dish fairly proactively. Nobody on the side of Loud over on that north side of the map. No contact in A main either.
I quite like how proactive Gen.G are being in this one so far. Really enjoying the fact they're actually trying to clear space, take partial control somewhere, work back through. Very diligent play. Spike has made it decide, so Loud at least going to get themselves a plant in this. But the amount of utility that Gen.G can come back in with is going to be almost insurmountable.
Yeah, the problem being Gen.G have looked fairly solid on some of these retakes. This was considered. There was absolutely no hint of a peak coming out from anybody. Happy to give away this plant. Reliant on their ability to get back onto site here.
And they've made it on pretty cleanly. Yeah, lovely. Now, can anything really deny this now? A little bit of utility still left in play for Loud to try and maybe just be disruptive, but the amount of bodies there is simply massive. Loud actually doing so much damage. The fuse still going to be the end part of this tale.
They've drawn blood, though.
They absolutely have, with very little.
And with the plant going down, should aid the finances just a little bit.
And apologies if we miss out on certain aspects. There are, we currently don't have some of the cards in play. So
I'm
again,
sure the buy is good coming into round 3. Loud
again,
should be sitting pretty right now.
Bear with us if we're saying some mad stuff, but we should be seeing the reward of that work coming here.
Meteor once again, see that stinger on the on his back.
The
Actually,
pressure.
Gen.G looking to get very proactive in this round 3. And actually, Eco's found one.
The flash was so good, but they couldn't quite get on the second. Sadak still, some having so many just extra lives to run through.
It looked like a ton of damage on the second as well. Yeah, actually, yes, Sadak gonna be licking his wounds, peeling away from B main now. But Gen.G feel as if they're going to catch the timing on this rotation. King has to slow things down with the fragment. He's tagged up, 77 HP. Knife back in 3 seconds, so could reveal this setup.
Oh, there it is. It decides. I was a little more worried about Sand, but they're not quite that far out. But what a snap from TS. Now starting to sweat in this. King still on the site. Trying to locate Aspas.
That's
and he finds
huge.
him first. Aspas down.
Spike's in the doorway still. Tui's.
Maybe he can get the drop on one, but they've got to start questioning it at some point.
I mean, it's 30 seconds. He has to commit to this flank now.
And I love this readjust though from
Yep,
Gen.G, just getting
Secrets
close
drifted
by.
further.
Really nice. Like that, playing smart together. And there it is, contact made. Now you can see this is almost impossible. King spotted. And then this time, it's all about time. 13 seconds, and eventually you will see that flank even coming back on in. It's King doing wonders now for Gen.G. Really nice responses
And
here.
that will break the bank for Loud. I'm not entirely sure of the ultimate progress, but I doubt they've got an awful lot to throw into this round. And Gen G will be very happy with themselves for this start on the defense.
Go back in now. Need to have a little wake-up call here for Loud. 3 on the trot. He just farming at the moment. Actually going to pop the ult. Feels the pressure coming in, and rightly so. There are plenty more players to follow. Lovely from Meteor. Sends him right on back down. A second attempt at this. Couldn't quite keep the control here. Now King's on a little bit of a island, overwhelmed. Loud making a good go of this, but that ult, Mike, could be huge.
The Secret actually found Sadak on the drift out there from that orbital strike. Karen Zine, very tacked up. Has to peel away from this. Nobody towards A site right now, but you can already see the preemptive rotation coming through as the spike will make its way towards Ditch. I think actually, on the back of Loud cutting sound, might find themselves in a favorable position here. A 3v2 granted to Gen G.
Yeah, Secret's time.
Beautiful,
Oh.
beautiful from Secret.
I was so worried about that, if that was mistimed slightly, but it wasn't. Time to perfection, and now they don't have the same sort of space, and they're already considering that doubling back around, but you can see it being read, being worked through TS, noting the player who's tried to secure this B site. Spike on the way, but 20 seconds. If there's anything disruptive, if Too Easy falls too quickly, it's maybe out of reach. 13 seconds. Spike gonna go down, and Too Easy gonna try and do some quick damage.
Big
Actually
kill.
paid off. Gets to fall away from this. Calzine only on 10 HP though.
Rolling Thunder now
TS
as well.
held back. They need to make this work for themselves. And he's going to make the most of it. Oh, what a shot from TS.
Karenzine's on 10
Slaps
HP.
him. Calzine, 1v2. Got to play this to perfection. No less will do it. Spots a barrel, spots a player, gets a kill. 1v1 now, TS. You're not
He's
gonna
sticking
do
it.
You're not going to do it, but the crowd. This
He's
is a different
sticking
game.
it.
This is a different game. There's a crowd in here. They're going to make noise, and Calzine knows it.
And so at the final moment here, TS trying to get away with a little daylight robbery. Will get themselves on the board at least. With that Red Bull clutch. What is this shot from TS?
Unbelievable. No right to start hitting those sort of shots. Calzine, too aware to fall for that sort of business. Very diligent. Frustration as well being shown now. Let me go back in. Aggression being the name of the game, though. Aspas instantly being tested here.
An absolute chaos outside here and Loud. I'm unsure really how to approach this. Guess we'll find one. They're getting trades back and forth.
Yeah, Spike is down. We are into a 3v3. Sadak. See Meteor. And then she gets it. Lovely work, Sadak. Huge value in this round. As remaining player has to respect this now and fall away.
Yeah, 15 HP. Try and hold on to the rifle. I don't think anyone from Loud's going to be hunting him down, obviously with concern of a couple of players not being able to purchase into the next. That'll be the second on the board for Loud. Sadak still sitting on that showstopper.
I'm thoroughly enjoying the impact, though, Sadak has been having throughout this series now, seeming like it's going to come into map 2 here. And now we look at where the money sits. Going to be a little stretched, but this is the Sadak moment for me that really stood out. Again, just securing the round. There was an opportunity there for Gen G. And it looks like we do have a bit of a technical timeout. Not sure for who. Ah, it's just an overall tech. A Pampot classic.
Now get themselves into a position where his ultimate's starting to come online at least. Genji not able to convert that early run of rounds into anything too concerning just yet. I'm curious as well if Genji continue to pressure so much in the early round. It doesn't feel as if either team's really run away with that just yet. But again, that's Genji leaning on the strengths of this composition. So being able to make use of the double duelist and the double initiator. Actually have to, I guess, wait and see how Loud opt to navigate that in the upcoming rounds.
Yeah. Timeout now. Should be hopefully worked out soon here. Not sure what the issue may be, but I'll try to look towards the players, see if anyone's headset off yet. It looks like it's being worked through as we speak, so shouldn't be
An
too
audio
much of a
issue.
bother.
I wonder if it's the crowd.
But there's people out there being quite.
I mean, I can barely
rowdy.
hear you. So.
What? Huh? Never heard you in my life before. Not once. It looks as though the time up is coming to an end, so we should be good to get back into game. Thank you for the patience there. And yes, when we're talking about this game, we look towards Loud's, I guess the ults as well, really to ensure safety in this. On the other side, Pistols. They do have that rifle on King, so see what he can achieve with that. Yes, Neon ult too, so a little bit to play with here.
There's north side crunch immediately, but Aspas able to find a kill on the backside
Beautiful,
of it. Doubles down
beautiful.
onto it.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered there. Remove that hero rifle that could have potentially done a little bit more damage. Very few opportunities now for Meteor to try and be disruptive to this round. The last players are down to those pistols, really. So again, this one looking sewn up here. Off the back of Aspas with a lovely double. Removing King. Did have that Vandal, I believe, brought forward.
Well navigated here to make sure Meteor finds nothing with that showstopper. Again, the awareness. Slip through on the other side of things. Cowanzine to fall in this round. Meteor trying to get a little cheeky with it, but that team will find two. Les finally trading it out.
Kind of nice.
So we'll draw blood, force out a couple of repurchases.
Yep.
As Loud will tie things up 3 apiece. Again, some of these ultimates still available. I mean, with Aspas finding seemingly 2 freebies on the way in, or with minimal cost here, albeit Cowanzine's life. So we've got the showstopper, the Blade Storm, and the lockdown. Interestingly enough, we're going to see Meteor toying with the idea of an operator.
Oh. I
He's
wouldn't be
reconsidered
massively
it.
opposed to it,
As
but yeah.
I've just said that. Well, I mean, again, if you had a jet here, you could anchor similarly to how you would with a Sentinel in this composition.
Yeah.
If you do want to play out something a little slower, anticipate some of this aggression on the side allowed.
Certainly an option. And Aspas on the other side, going to get a lot of attention early on, draw a lot of that utility out. Actually remains unscathed, quite surprisingly. Going to continue forward, and it looks like they actually want to commit to this fully. Yeah, Loud making no secrets of this one. And well, you can see as to why Meteor is deleted off the site, but a quick trade for Secret. Comes back through, it's too easy. These are back and forth frags, but the site will be under control for Loud. That's the pawn coming in, and my eyes instantly drift towards Les. What can he achieve in this position? Just securing any of that drop down, any of those areas that could have been a threat, where potentially King could be exploring.
And King's got a couple of flashes to work with, but he's actually found one on site. Cowanzine's going to fall, so now he can flash himself out.
Yeah, turn though, nice. Really good work from Les, very diligent. The pressure from the Neon. And yeah, brilliance from Les here, just falling away, making him work for him, buying precious seconds the door. Shuts in his face, and the round goes to Loud, and making no secrets of that round there, Mike. That was quite, headstrong almost in approach.
Oh, almost an opportunity now. Talk about Genji unable to capitalize on that early string of rounds. The funds starting to dwindle a little bit for Genji. A couple of players able to force something in here. The Bulldog, Meteor on a scope of a different kind. Stinger. And not close to some of those key ultimates to offset this. Looking towards Meteor and Eco here. And actually gets a double dip on this, but now down to 14 HP. Has to respect it. And this fight for B main, back and forth. Gen.G happy to dip their toes.
There's a finite amount they can do that, and I think Meteor, the cusp was 10 HP. Do get that second opportunity, as you noted. But looking at the other side of the map here, already space being taken over by A, so quite the indicator, but I guess still being very diligent of potentially the pressure coming through by Dish. But as we note, it is going to be that B piece by all accounts for now. And well, the timing's gorgeous. Aspas again, formidable on these approaches, finding those instantaneous picks. Smoke's now going up as well, securing safety on that cross for the side plant.
Good flash though, actually the swing out, not going to find anything. Well, TS does get one. King gets two though. Less than Zadak will fall.
There's still, there's a huge chance that spots him. How does he do that? How has Too Easy just found that kill? Scrappy, close, but certainly no cigar. Loud going to carry on forward with the two standing. Yes, it could add some issues to the economy. No, look at that, already 7K built on Aspas. They're fine. That's an operator back in play. And Gen.G now deciding it's time to consider their options.
Yeah, they have to put a stop to this run. Loud now up to 5 rounds unanswered. What is that? King finding a perfect lineup there on the back of the flash. And it's difficult, some of the things we're seeing Gen.G try to achieve here on the defense. We always talk about it becoming more and more scary, really, when you don't have the funds to back it up. Especially being away from some of these ultimates that you can offset some of these purchases.
Now, if the arena dropped the lighting, that would be kind of sick, I'm not going to lie. You know, it looks pretty good in here right now. Couple more seconds of this timeout, though. Coming to an end pretty quick. And overall, I mean, I was getting worried about Gen.G in map 1, but after that timeout, we did see them actually find a bit more of that validity coming back into it. They certainly had that springboard going forward, so I shouldn't write them out, just yet, but I look at the way the rounds are trending, though. It's 5 on the trot here.
See, it's a very different scenario that the pendulum has swung back in favor of Loud here, so
yeah,
we're not Gen.G really in a position to repeat the same, as I guess that's success after the timeout is the question, because like I said, they haven't really been finding value off some of these crunches early on, at least. The flash over the top.
But it's a split this time. You can still see Loud not over committing towards that B piece. To be fair, they haven't even been doing that before, but still committing 2 players to it this time rather than one just kind of lingering around, making sure that push doesn't find too much value. This is about as far as it gets before the side hit comes in.
Loud are so good at probing, though, and figuring out exactly who is playing where. Obviously, they note King's flash early on. They've now noted Secret's position. They would have noted Eco off the stun as well. King tucked all the way into spawn here. He can see the cross onto site.
Les
Les can't see it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely tunnel vision towards the push back through, but they, again, Gen.G sitting purely for retakes here. This is...
Yeah, playing off this orbital strike, maybe? It's not there to deny plant. Maybe holding for the lockdown, I'm not sure.
Potentially, but still would have to really work for that. They do have one player towards the site. Now trying to clear towards tower, does it. That's a big objective achieved here on the checklist of the retake, but now you have to disrupt the players sitting deep on the other side. Rolling Thunder gonna come through. Ooh, Meteor deleted. They're gonna sit on this spike. No one's moving them just yet. Still, no one moving. There we go. Finally, the shot comes in. Got a little too close for comfort there.
I was gonna say the timing on that smoke dropping was gonna be crucial, because Gen.G in broad daylight sticking that defuse. You have to scrape together something in this. Oh, were they considering the force here?
Are they going to?
I mean, Secret's down at 1,500, so it would be 4 weapons max. What is that shot?
Lovely.
What was that from Therese?
players certainly looking more and more comfortable on the stage here.
Another pinch towards the north, potentially. Actually, no, Eco slipped through into underpass. Might catch Aspas here. The timing on that flash was perfect. I think Eco just missed him on that cross towards the box. Hang on, Sadak probably out
so
Sand.
far out. What? And King still finding that is ridiculous. But the fact that he got so far out by Sand without being checked on, tell me how. But Genji responding massively. All players now drawn over. They're trying to retake the space, and they're going to be catching him completely unawares. Spray's done enough for less, but those shots are hitting. And now the 1v1. Aspas against Meteor. A minute to play with him. Plenty of mind games if they want it. And a drastic outgun in favor of Aspas here. Meteor has to respect this amount of space.
He's not got the read.
Certainly does not.
Aspas has swapped out to a rifle as well. We get the free plant. Well, Meteor's actually going to retrieve an upgrade here before he goes for this retake. He's not. No utility.
Where's he going for? What's happening, Aspas? Man, this guy is so clean with it. Wow.
And it's another round where Loud are so good at reading the setup from Gen G. They don't feel this resistance in A main. They get a couple of sound cues elsewhere on the map. And that's why we see Sadak immediately pushing through Sand. He knows that maximum is going to be one. Yeah, and it's not going to be that layered utility, you know. Eco playing off the flash somewhere from Secret. Beautiful round from Loud. Now we become even more concerned about the finances once again. Round 11. Not an awful lot left behind this purchase. Ultimates just about creeping back online for Gen G. But will that be the saving grace if they lose this one? They're staring down the 9-3 half.
They are. Curse or not. Ooh, Secret's seen a whole lot here. But again, the amount of space Sadak's finding, but they already expect this to an extent. Oh, but the shoulder check just gives Sadak even more capability here. Pressured though, can't make it away. Secret quells that aggression, but note where the spike's going. It's all down to one, and King has a finite amount of time to play with. Yeah, done for. Loud just running rings around them right now.
Both players coming across from bridge. Meteor and Secret, both ultimates available. Tui's looking to greet them on the way in here, finds the first. His third on the round. Can Secret respond here?
Just hit the one shot, he'll be fine. Secret, he's done, he's dead. Loud stretching their lead here. And Gen G defiant on map 1. Map 2 starting to bleed away from them here.
We said the ultimate's potential to be the saving grace for Gen G. They will be able to scrape together some kind of purchase, but it's Spectres, a judge to round this out. Whether or not we see some aggression on the back of the Rolling Thunder. The first time, actually, there's been a heavy emphasis from Loud towards bridge.
Yeah.
I think anticipated maybe that very aggression towards the typical points that Gen G have gravitated.
If they're going to be rewarded for it. But absolutely a correct call. Yeah, no reward this time. But it's only the early round that they've invested towards it, so now starting to begin that exploration mission as a whole pack, as 5 players.
Yeah, it's just King here. I mean, yes, TS is jump spotting from spawn, but not in a position to play a complementary angle from this. We'll note the aftershock at least. That will pull Meteor very quickly this direction, but Sadak, he's got a showstopper now.
Yeah, and he's going to just let that rip, take as much space as possible, push through, makes a bit of meal of it there, and now has to hold this one. And he's not alone, he's not even needing the backup. Finally going to have to call that into effect. Meteor, big shot comes in as well. Denies Calzine. Spike still down, and a meal made of that too. This is not clean at all. Loud, put through the paces now, just one alive in a 1v4. What can he do with this? So many bodies in the way, and the defuse ain't stopping. Gen G, it's a lifeline, and it ain't much, but it's 4-8.
The one you least expect them to pull off. Again, it's actually greeting that aggression really nicely. Aspas just caught off guard with that wide swing. Shuts down the Blade Storm, but elsewhere, Meteor and Eco coming through. That flank from Tree.
So much more to be seen, so much more to be said, Mike, but at 4-8, we're going to hand it back to the desk to break down that first half.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Hypog. This one isn't as close as the first half of Pearl, and a double duel is on both sides. What did you guys think?
I'll be honest, I think a lot of that has got sort of what Mike was saying. Like, I feel like it's a great game being called. The initial rounds, it was very aggressive coming out of Gen G. They were sort of like taking a lot of space, and immediately you just see a lot more of a direct sort of pushing strategy coming out of Sadak, just taking space and not allowing them to catch them in the pincers.
Yeah, you definitely saw the difference in comfort here. When we saw the first half of the previous map defensively, playing a solo anchor of a Killjoy, this guy didn't have nearly as much freedom as he did this time around, able to move around the map and take a lot of these duels. His utility was perfect, and the calls off the charts. Thinking about what we're going to see from him in the next. Defense is where he struggled before, but that was when he had a lot of responsibility. As I said, playing that Killjoy. Now, he doesn't have as much to worry about with less picking up that role.
But that's the thing. I almost feel like their defense is going to involve just being aggressive again, like having more set plays and him leading the way. Like, you can't do that with a double duelist. That's actually why I want to look at the guys on the other side in the form of Echo and Meteor. I think some of the setups that they had on the last map, revolving around those supportive players, pushing these people into angles. Now, they were trying that on the defense. It was failing miserably. They were being caught every single time. Now, they're going to be the sort of pinnacle of this side again. They have to lead the way, find themselves those openers, and have those supported players work around them. So the fact that they're quite low on the board, it's rough for now, but hopefully it will work on the other side.
Now, one question I had going into that half, going into this series, TS, he's a new guy on the international scene, he's IGLing, you're up against this crowd as well. King comes in and says, I want to shut them down, but I wasn't so sure if TS would have the same idea, but he was playing a fantastic game there, up towards the top of the scoreboard. Hopefully he can keep it up. They're going to need it.
Yeah, they are going to need it indeed, Gen 2. They got to dig deep here, because if they don't, Pansy and Hypog, they're going to be going home.
Yeah, and the last thing we need, Yinzu, is deep heat. It's very warm up here. No product placement, of course. Appreciate you. I'm just getting glares, but 4-8, we can actually now focus on the game here. Let's kind of dive back into the first half, and the problem is if we let's look at this, right? It's perfect on the screen right now. First three, looking great, really exciting, and the last one. And it's just an absolute run of rounds here coming in off the back of it for Loud. 8 rounds on the trot. Oh, we love the tech pause. God, we are being treated today.
It's actually crazy since we've landed here in São Paulo.
No, the desk is absolutely loving it.
The ratio is fairly outrageous.
It feels
It's not a gear.
personal.
It's not a gear pause.
No, it's us.
It's an us pause.
It's an us pause. Thank you though for not blaming us though. I do actually appreciate that. Like maybe it's nice of them to do this.
I mean, some people do blame us. Notably, Mitch. Yinzu,
It is
and Tom.
mostly Mitch.
Yeah.
He's absolutely. I've never seen Mitch so happy. Look at him.
They
Get him
stuck
spud
50p
on the
in
desk. He'll be really, really pleased. Look at that guy, smug. Well, if it all goes wrong, we can just get like a quad cast. Just open up the desk mics. Mitch just almost fell off his chair.
Mitch has been play-by-play in some of his segments on the desk anyway.
I mean, the pace has been out of this world. So if you are wondering why we're talking absolute nonsense, we do have a tech pause and we have nothing to really talk about yet because the second half hasn't really started. And the first half, in context, Michael, once the weapons came out to play, it was Loud winning.
Yeah, I mean, once they built up that bankroll, like I said, some of the things that Gen G were attempting become even more risky, right? It just snowballs from there. They can't really commit to some of these pinches, but I guess that conversation does carry across to the second half.
Sure.
Obviously, the lack of that Sentinel.
Yep.
We're looking for very, very pacey hits here from Gen G.
Which is
actually,
hard.
how much do Loud really toy with that lack of flank control, right? They don't have an information gatherer, right?
No,
Outside
no.
of the boom bot, don't really have anything.
While it lasts.
Well, yeah. F's in chat for boom bot.
All right. Let's see if there is any fight left in Gen G here, because once again, this is elimination if it does get lost.
Whoa!
What a start! Diving in head first, taken down to Loud, left to 3 players, and the pinch is everywhere. Calcine's still going to walk away with at least something, but still looking at this, they've won everything they wanted here.
It's less than 2 E's to try and recover this pistol round.
Nice position.
Meteor.
Okay.
Good off there on the swing.
Hold on.
And Secret stacked up.
Make a believer out of me in this round, Loud. And oh no. Oh my god, that was so close. And now just a 1v2. This is so much for less though. He still has Atari, still got a little bit to work with. Utility on the side is there, but he doesn't know what's clear and what's not. Only noting one player. Potentially even seeing the foot there, but that player in CT is an issue. Pod's not really for it, but can be made to be a nuisance with just that.
Of course, Secret nearly fallen into the turret. He's 3 HP.
Sheesh. At the time though, Mike, it's dwindling. Still doing so much work. You can't say he's not trying, but Gen.G maybe giving us a game here. First round in the second half.
I said I need to see pace. I need to see a committed hit with this composition from Gen.G. If the first round is anything to go by, it's looking good already. That flash was perfectly timed here.
Beautiful.
Again, Meteor to follow up here in this double duelist composition. Played to perfection here. How many pieces do we see from Gen.G just like that? Do we see an optic approach, the rinse and repeat?
Yeah, yeah. And it's just pace. It's all in pace. And this takes bravery. This is hard to do when you had 4 rounds to your name, but now look towards Dish. There's so many come flooding on out, and Gen.G mopping them all up. Lovely, lovely stuff. No threats to be made of that. Yes, they lose 1, but that's fine. Less should be given nothing here. The door should be shut in the face. There should be 6. And Gen.G teeing themselves up as best they can, by all rights, to try and close this gap. It's not over yet.
Fairly polarizing, you think about it. Obviously, we're talking about the financial struggles in the first half. This potentially, Loud win the pistol in round 2. It's 10-4. Again, the same thing you'd have assumed would have happened. Constantly playing catch up. Gen.G constantly starting on the back foot. 4 Spectres, a Sheriff into this round here. Going to try and convert as best they can. I'm hoping TS buys a little more utility than that. Just carrying 5,400 into this, or I guess they're just going to run it down again.
The speed in which they're going and the trades are quite good. Looking for that next layer of damage. Sadak is teed up for success, but could only get, I think, 1, but he did do a lot of damage. Look at King, look at Meteor, and Secret, even a little bit of chip damage there as well.
So we should have, again, with the lack of smokes here, information on the cross. Well, he has to now. The double flank coming through.
Yeah, you're right.
From Les and Aspas. A little bit behind the curve here, but King, 21 HP.
That flash. Oh, Les saving. Saving Aspas there for sure. And Meteor being given nothing. Look at Too Easy sitting so deep towards CT. Aspas going through over by Sand. So many angles to worry about. The time starting to dwindle. Need to hold on to this great isolated pick. But the denial on the ult now. Secret in trouble. Spectre. Player left, player right. Which one can he go to? It doesn't matter. Aspas made it there in time. The fuse going to come in and Loud. Yes, lost out in some numbers there, but they will make it up to 9 now on the board.
2 rifles to carry across from this. We have to scrape something together. Gen.G though, booming after that. A couple of concerns at the bottom half of that scoreboard in terms of the finances.
Yeah.
Decent progress towards some of these ultimates as well, but actually Loud almost edging them out in this first ult cycle. It's so crucial that Meteor's showstopper gets shut down there. So I think the fault line actually connected onto Aspas. Yes, he dashed out. Potential there for him to isolate something with a showstopper. Big info here from King. This time not really seeing that death ball approach from Gen.G.
I don't mind a pace change coming in, hitting the brakes a little bit, knowing that you've got a little bit more utility maybe to try and work through, see if they can get some of that down. Temper some of that pace that we've been seeing, and it is very, very patient, waiting for the other 2 to get over to the other side of things. Maybe start working towards tower, probably a little bit of pressure here and there. Just how patient allowed in this. That's contact. This could spur on this approach. Let's see if King and Co are ready. Yeah, they absolutely are. Beheads Sadak and falls away from this. Does have support systems in place. This was all to try and bait that attention, maybe see if they would commit to that further aggression on A-Hall.
The timing was an absolute tragedy there for Loud. King close enough to get ahead of that flash. Remove Sadak. Going Z now, 25 seconds to that fault line. Can't really slow this down, but he's actually gone aggressive. He got the burst, but he caught the flash. TS will find the trade.
They've still got a number up to the good, and the smokes will be able to cover this. Clearing towards the site, there's no one there, we can see that. They still have to be a little bit careful, and up and above, one will be looking. That's Too Easy, maybe considering an attempt, having a little bit of a peek towards it. Aspas can be coming around by Dish. But how do we disrupt this post plant? So difficult. Too easy, not being gifted too much here. 2 on the site still.
TS still got that molly as well, so they can play this pretty late. She's all the way in spawn, set up for it.
Very difficult to do this, because even just addressing that back line, they've done the best they can, but they still need to get past TS's molly. It's probably been sent out into play now, and he needs to get there fast. Meteor still holding the ground, going to be doing well towards 1, but the molly burning, going to get it towards halfway, but lose life. And now the 1v2, Aspas, can he be the hero this round? No! Gen.G, still with depth, still with players, and still with life in them yet.
The conversion keeps it within 2. Loud. To throw some investment here, but no Blade Storm, no Showstopper. She won away from the Showstopper and the Rolling Thunder. Like I said, the timing on the molly coming through here just to apply a little more pressure. There's things like that as well, with the lack of a Sentinel here, to have somebody in the back lines, that safety net for Gen.G.
7-9 now. Gen.G have it in him. They've got the dog in him right now. Oh my word, Sadak with the judge still. Actually catches Meteor. They aren't going down just yet, but the pressure is so quickly mounting. Echo wants to burst through this, but there's the flash finally. Too easy. No problem for him. The molly goes in, but it's quick, and it is just chaotic at the moment. Leaving it back down to a 2v2. Spikes on the side with the flank being watch. TS, big pick towards Sadak. But now, look at the HP remaining. King was vulnerable, but he had his knight in tow. TS there to keep him safe on the site. 8-9. This is getting close now. Loud feeling that pressure again. The ult cycle hitting perfectly for them now, though. Could not ask for a better look here. Just missing out on Aspases, but still so much to bring into this potential round. And that last one was pure and utter chaos.
It is Loud actually the ones to pump the brake here. A big round on the cards for them. 4 ultimates available. Aspas, 2 off that Blade Storm. Again, the funds all but tapped out here for Loud. Only 1 round separating them.
And now we look at what this means, right? Timeout hit for Loud. They want to make sure this gets no closer. They don't want any more dangers on the doorstep. They don't want to think about map 3, because we do need to bring it into question now, right? We're talking about the map pool that we've seen. We've seen Pearl and Fracture quite close, which has been wonderful to watch, right? Broad's a brilliant game, but Split is dangerous. We know that Gen.G could probably run it. We know that Loud probably have some diligence on it as well, but it's still that unknown quantity to such a large extent, and bringing that down and into play for this moment, deadly. That scares the life out of me, and it probably does a little for Loud as well. So if the opportunity is here to pump the brakes and talk this through, how do you want to utilize these ults? Where do we want to bring it into effect? How do we want to approach this game? That is the consideration now. Again, you do look on the other side. Secret does have his King not far off either. Meteor still a little further away, but the purchase is there with a little in pocket. And this is a buy down for Loud. So, and you can see just the scoreboard. Gen.G have been absolutely step by step bringing this game back. The pace has been fatal. Aspas going to get the first bit of contact. Quick glance towards Arcade. But is he willing to deal with the 3 players? Still has a chance on it, Meteor! Belting start. Takes down Aspas, and the site is there. The pace is unrelenting from Gen.G, and so are the frags. Less is gone. We're down to 3. So few opportunities. Mike, this is absolutely nuts. Gen.G have just kicked up a gear.
They're about to break the economy even further and keep 5 standing. Yes, ultimates available for Loud, but they don't even get a chance in this round.
Oh.
TS has found another 2Es. We'll find a consolation.
That's all it is, though.
That's all it is. Has to tuck his tail between his legs.
Because the money was looking weak as well.
I mean, he will bring this across. Can't remember off the top of my head if Aspas will have the Blade Storm here. Pretty sure Sadak had the Showstopper.
Everyone else had everything apart from Aspas, so I am curious if that was enough. Didn't quite note it before.
Could be something to work with, but this is 9 apiece now. TS will find his 3rd.
They're struggling here, Mike, to find the answer to this aggression. It's that pace that's been coming through.
It's what we needed to see. We called this at the half change. No Sentinel, they had to commit to this. And they're winning out some key engagements. Meteor finds the first hit, doubles down as well. Him and Eco, this dynamic duo, on the duel list.
Really nice. Still high spirits for Loud. Not worried just yet, but this one could be getting a little unnerving because it's 10. It's 10 on the board. That's when you start to get a little, you know, okay, they still have that through if they need it, but you wouldn't want to go there. But they just simply do not have the answers right now to what Gen G are bringing, at least on this half. Oh, is there for King as well. So really going through the motions this time, Gen G trying to give themselves that next layer too if they get the opportunity to bring it in. Because we know that Loud have all those opportunities in the round following, round 20. But they are not out of the woods just yet. Sheriffs galore, and actually players in the right place for this if they do go for this A hit.
One smoke deployed. Gen G stacked up outside it right now, but the read from Loud is spot on.
Very good. Very
Blade Storm
good.
pop for Aspas.
71 HP in a dream to make this one work. Sight already in question, but Sadek's going to find one. Now the cross gets brought in as well. They are making this so difficult to hit that cross. The shot, Aspas desperate for it. Tries his best and he can't do it. King's ult takes away the knives, puts them back in the pocket. And King carries this round forward for Gen G. Less now a 1v3 and that Sheriff can only do so much. Rifles aren't really close by. There's no weapon to pick up and King supreme in this round.
Say it once again, Gen G are playing phenomenal Valorant. Look at that run in the second half.
Huge.
Round 15, a blip on their journey here. Another big round, still got these ultimates
Like
in the back pocket of Loud.
Yeah.
There's this perfect response there, the no command. The only real threat there, completely mitigated on the back of that ultimate from King. Aspas actually now onto the operator.
Glass cannon too.
Yep.
Oh my, and I'm looking at the setup here. It may be brought into punish Aspas. This is so dangerous. Meteor!
He was creeping onto the angle.
How did he see him on that angle? So fine.
It must have been an elbow or something protruding. And Meteor will punish. A man advantage once again.
That glass cannon shattered and we look towards A. Already made that progress towards it. Already got that foot in the doorway almost here.
The King and TS are so deep on this already.
Too easy is going to be sat so far back. Yeah, the smoke's there, but it doesn't really matter. They can still burst through that. It's not slowing them down at all. Perfect sight, take 5 alive.
But look at the retake ability here for Loud.
There it is.
The stun will come through. Secret will die to that.
Gone. But now we look at the post-plant positioning. Rolling Thunder coming in. The next one looking pretty much on the chopping block was King. Follow-up needed from Selak. He's doing it alone if he has to. They put everything into the round. And Loud digging their heels in. They don't want to let it get to 11. One man stands and it may be too little too late. But that cost them everything they had.
We had to stabilize on the back of that as well. 3 will survive. Not sure exactly how the funds will sit, but should be able to spread the cost a little bit. Gen G will be unfazed in that regard.
Yeah, that was the round that you had to suffer through, right? It felt like an inevitability that was... And yeah, look at that. You were absolutely right, just an elbow. And
that's where the glass cannon.
Yeah, it happens. It's a risk you take, right? And you'll probably take it again to allow this round to happen, but Sadak heroics here. In my mind, that was a round that Gen G knew were coming. It was all the ults. Everything they've been saving up in the pocket. But now can they replicate without? Gen G up until this point have been above and beyond, exceeding, and the pace again.
Big pace change. A wide open B site here. We'll get a free plant. Only a lick of damage done to King on the way in here. I think the smoke is, yes, has found the first. Cowanzine will swing, but he will fall.
Look at this, it's so bloodied on the way in, it's not clean at all now. Loud, at least clawing onto this round. First time we've seen resilience, and that's passed for the 3v someone. Secret goes down as quick as it was. And now the two, King and TS, the King and his knight right now, denying on the tap. That's gonna buy a couple more seconds. Switching out to the rifle.
Quite a lot of time though. Still
There
a
is.
fragment here from King.
But can he even implement this? You can see they're trying to take the fight on a King. Could be good for one. Wait a second, Diffuse still gonna be coming in. Has to deny, and he's done it! Gen G! It's King leading the way with the Red Bull clutch.
Another example of that smoke dropping at the perfect moment. This time it's Loud who suffer for it. Beautiful pace change. They know that Loud are feeling the pressure now.
Look at this. Buying the time perfectly. Playing it so well. I am so impressed with King here. Some real pivotal rounds coming out from him. This is what brings up the question though. Loud, they depended on all of those ults before. That's what got them that break in this trend. Look at the rounds as they were going.
They had to invest everything just to stop that momentum of Gen G. And now they're in a position where they almost have to concede towards the 12th. Gen G will find map point, bar any heroics.
Sure, there's always a chance something crazy will happen, someone pulls off something out of this world, but by all accounts, we are looking like map 3 could be on the cards here. 12th round, feeling very likely. King could be in a world of trouble here, pressing this corner. Does actually get away, just evading a paint shell that could have been disastrous in the repeak. Yeah, death of Kauzin, tried to make something of it, but keep in mind we have classics, they have frenzies, it's not much, and the diligence from Gen G is pretty on the money. I don't think they're going to fall to any of these real errors that could cost them this, and look straight to B. No stress, no problems, no threats here really found.
I was going to say, that's not going to be able to do too much about this plant.
Perfect.
Spike noted now, and these smokes
seconds.
are about to expire.
They got to make a move on this one. Gen G, though, so quick at answering
Look at the response.
back. It is drilled. 12 to 10. One more round, and Gen G unlock map 3.
This Aspas now will have the operator, a light shield behind it this time.
Yep.
Closest ultimates being the showstopper, the lockdown, the blade storm. Gen G, nothing left in that regard. Again, the way they're playing fundamentally, excelling here on Fracture. And not having to rely on some of those things, honestly.
No.
These executes have been so precise. Aspas gets a shot at it, but
It was a chance.
Nico managing to avoid that one.
Do they continue on? Noting that operator early.
Is this an orb farm round for Gen G? Oh, Sadak overstepping the mark a little bit. Deep control towards tree here. Kawanzine will be the second layer to this. Tui's up on site, but Aspas already made his way towards B site.
They might need an Aspas round here.
This is key. The operator was noted towards drop, but a deep position from Eco. Probably going to read this rotation.
Need one of these players.
The secret faking with that
There's
fault
the
line.
fake.
Yeah.
They're gonna, they have to respect it. Oh, they fell for this hook, line, and sinker. Now at some point they will question where these players are, and there it is. That's where the penny's gonna drop, that this is all but a ruse, all but a fate, and Kauzin gonna find TS. Okay, dealing a little with it. What? Beautiful work, allowed. Maybe in the final hour, but they're still King. Finding two, popping the O. He wants this round, he wants this map done. 25 seconds, and he needs the support. Echo's the one who's in the other side of the map. Has to come over. Aspas gonna find him, and now it's just down to one. 15 seconds, and it's not gonna happen. Aspas with heroics, taking them to 11.
Stepping up once again, and we've credited how precise, how disciplined Gen G have been. And it's a gap in the smoke
Yeah.
that this round crumbles apart for Gen G. The fake was perfect.
It was stunning.
And they bought it.
Of course they did. You had to. We hadn't really seen something like that before. There
I
it
can't
was.
believe it. TS has had a fantastic map here. 25 and 15 for Gen G.
Huge.
But it's that tiny, tiny mistake, and Aspas will punish and find 3 here with the operator.
Gen G pumping the brakes. It's their timeout being called. What'd you call in for this round? You have one of the ults sitting on TS. Orbital Strike. Echo one off from his. Secret 3 away. Meteor 3 away. Not really going to have those opportunities to bring those through, at least with secure confidence. On the other side for Loud. Operator still out for Aspas, of course. Money 3.5 for Sadak and Kauzin. Showstopper. Knives. Man, what do you run? If you're Gen G, you get one more shot of this in regulation. You've been doing so well in these traditional rounds.
Just quickly, look at the buy. for Loud. They're not going to be able to stretch rifles across the board here. Yes, they have the showstopper. It's a judge to round things out, actually,
Yeah, he's got the
to
showstopper,
complement that.
Yeah, he'll be right. But my eyes just go to what does Gen G run. I know this is Loud, you know, trying to pull this one into OT, but this is Gen G fighting for their life, and they've done really well in these gun rounds. You can see the string of them, but it feels like Loud just has that ability in those final moments. You get an Aspas moment, you get a Sadak moment here or there. Calzine, do you go back to the basics of what was working? These B set pieces, those A hits that have been gorgeous. Less on the site though, can they deal with it this time? Gen G knocking on the door, and it will be the fight won by Less. That's a difference maker. Oh, the showstopper! TS down, rifle found, and Gen G in tatters. OT calling. We ain't no way are we done in this one yet. Oh, they've got the fight in them still, and Meteor in a 1v4. He just knows this is all but done, and this is going to be OT calling. Loud, giving us a game.
And it's so key, the awareness there from Les, to read that pacey hit, to deal with the knife, to make sure he's still got his utility to fall back on. Beautiful to watch. The awareness on both teams here. Seeing so many different examples of it. Again, this pinch, the immediate response coming out from A-Main. The showstopper finds value. And Calzine, once again, that second layer to this aggression for Loud.
That's going to be
that
heartbreaking.
safety net behind the duelist, Lauren.
That's going to be so hard for Gen G mentally, though. Because you think they did all that hard work technically, right? The technical aspect of it. They brought this game back.
They're in touching distance.
One away. And now Loud starting to feel that confidence again. Maybe they've got the theory, the method that works.
The pendulum swings again.
Look at the base, though. There's no fear being shown from Gen G. They are playing like their lives are on the line. And they absolutely are on the line. But Les is aware of it. The flashes back and forth, fully blind. Gen G breaking in with two. Too easy, and let's go down. And now the 3v3. Aspas needs to make a run for it. Get out of danger. Plant coming in. This will now be time on the side of Loud.
The hell was that? It was a 5-man push. All the way into tree. Aspas now trying to hold down the four.
King!
The Sadak is absolutely slapped by King.
Mirrored almost in approach now. The last two gonna have to make it through by A-Main. You got Aspas and Calzine on the other side. Spike taking knife back up in 3, but it's the shot from Aspas. Oh, he just battered them down.
Blow for blow, Lauren. It's so back and forth.
And when they need him, he stands tall. Aspas finding so much value here.
How deep in the strap pick are we for the 5-man tree push?
Come on.
But it's another round that
word.
Loud are just absolutely on point with this reactive gameplay. It's so fluid. They're always in a position to capitalize. Always.
This is heartbreaking. This is, you know, you got that lump in your throat, you're feeling like the world's on your shoulders. Gen G now. As said, we're in touching distance for so long, so close. And now staring down the barrel of a gun.
How far down the rabbit hole do we go here on Fracture? Just one round separating. Both teams elevating here on map 2.
Oh yeah.
What an insane performance across the board.
Gen G, my question is though, do they go for it again? Do
What do they
for
got
that
left in the
BP?
tank?
Exactly how much have we seen from them? Do they go for the hit that came through drop, the dish hit? Do we see those A-Main pieces, maybe a fake? Because they got dealt with, right? They got handled with that, the knife that got handled over by Les. That, it was all really quite a problem. Do they dare run it again? 12-13, we're gonna find out.
But that same piece once again towards B. Les will feel the pressure.
Can he play it live? Yes, he can! 1-for-1 trade, this time Meteor closer by though. So he will have the site with safety. A plant should be next in line, which it is. And now we look at the post plant. Far more dedicated towards the site this time as well.
TS player disconnected, so he's definitely got something cooking with that molly. Still got the fragment. Secret should get some utility back.
Big.
TS has found one. Sadak will fall.
They are holding on to this with both hands as much as they can. Aspas trying to clear through. Oh, what? The drive-by. And Loud. Oh my God, how? have they done that?
The molly will land, but it won't matter. They will get a victory lap around. Aspas will fall for it. Cowan-Zine, though, once again, the safe pair of hands to seal the deal for Loud.
Oh, it's sunshine in São Paulo for Loud. Gen G, man. That is heartbreak.
Hats off to them. Absolutely phenomenal play from them today.
We talk about what this is, and, you know, obviously roses for Loud, but for Gen G coming in against, you know, the reigning champions by all rights on the hometown benefits, having all of that boon in your name, and still putting up a performance like this, it deserves a lot of respect. Meteor, TS King for me as well, loved what he brought there. Really incredible attempt coming out from Gen G.
Yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking to have to say goodbye to these guys. There were some questions around this roster coming into this event, but in my eyes, if one series is anything to go by, and you can hear as well, they've earned the respect, the standing ovation here in São Paulo for Gen G.
Yeah.
Absolutely deserved.
I genuinely will be completely honest with you here, fully transparent. Did not expect that level of depth, that heart coming out from Gen G, but it is Loud's moment. Hometown heroes walking back in. After what was an incredibly tough game, could have gone 3. Pushed in both maps.
Towards the end of that one, I almost wanted to see a third.
Oh, give me split at that point.
Again, we talked about, obviously, some of the concerns with this roster.
Yep.
Obviously, with losing Sassy and Pancada, the core stands. It stands the test of time so far. Everybody's stepping up to the plate. I mean, look at the scoreboard here. It's so evenly distributed. Just to go ahead, actually, top heavy for Gen G. Meteor, TS, and King overall top of Fracture, but talked about that graphic just before this came out. It was 15 ACS separated that previous performance to Loud, and it's not a million miles away once again.
Nah, they are all heavy hitters. Yes, you will see those occasions from Aspas finding a little more Sadak, maybe you could argue, but I'm saying it now, that team is so capable. Oh man, hard to see on the other side here. This is the brutality of this format, of this tournament. Not many get to walk away here as victors.
They should feel no shame in their performance whatsoever today. Again, against the odds they face here in this arena.
Yes.
Take nothing away from what they displayed.
No, I can't wait to see what Gen G can bring going forward. I hope this doesn't, you know, echo further than we did the best we could here. Made a damn good go of it because, God, I can't wait to see the potential. We've seen this a couple of times now.
They said they come in, they'd play with heart, they weren't intimidated, and I think we saw that. They absolutely delivered.
There's very few times you get to enjoy a crowd like this. I'm sure after watching Champs and all the others getting to see Loud around the world, get them on home territory, must feel wonderful. Absolutely.
We get to keep it.
There's a couple of people in the VIP box probably wiping sweat off the brow going, all right, they're still in it. We're all right. But no, it is absolutely wonderful to see. And I'm sure for the crowd, it feels great to get a team do well in their first game like this. Not much else really to be said here. This one's pretty much done for us, as we can just watch back through the highlights of the game. But again, at this point, it was really just a couple of tales that went through for me. The fact that Gen G were able to kind of play that optic style to such high degree, and the classic fact that it was almost, you know, you've got Loud facing off against an optic style team on a map like this.
It's very rare that actually, sorry, just seeing that shot again in the replay, what was that? But again, looking at some of these compositions, you think, yeah, Gen G have to do X, Y, and Z, and this is why I take my hat off to them. They stuck to it. They didn't play scared. On the rounds that were important, these swing rounds, the ones that really shifted the finances, Gen G committed. Absolute commitment behind this composition, absolute faith in obviously on Fracture, into Meteor, into Eco, but also King and CS stepping up and just being so influential in some of these.
Yeah, and it's incredibly difficult because of those key rounds, some of them hitting at such difficult times just as you started to get red. Just as the opponent started to really work out how to halt those hits, you had to make that call, and I don't envy that call to be made. You can see there how much it absolutely weighed on them. To play against a team that was so diligent against someone like Optic, run Optic like strats, or you know, similarities to it, and get that close. That is such an incredible thing for me that they were able to get that close to it. But again, I think we need to wrap this one up because the audience is getting out of here and it has been hot as hell. But what it has been is a fantastic game, Mike. Let's run up that MVP vote as soon as it's ready and see who's really stood out to you there. Anyone, any name there standing forward?
Honestly, Karanzine. There's so many times where he's just I don't want to say the unsung hero, but again, with some of these fast-paced hits, he's just such a consistent player today. And it was often in times where, you know, Aspas has gone through, he's found a kill, but Karanzine's there to mop up another
Straight
2
away.
or 3, and the utility, absolute perfection from him. Just so impressed with him.
Yeah, lovely to see him come on the stage and some of the newer players doing really well there. So have your thoughts heard, get over, get involved, of course. But anyway, guys, that is enough from us. Today has been a pretty brilliant day of Valorant.
What a
I think
privilege.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this one will certainly go down the books for one of my favorites, but it's not just about us. It's about the desk. It's all those interviews coming up in just a moment, so stick around.
for Brazilian Valorant Loud, their pride and joy walking on stage in front of a home crowd. But I cannot imagine how much pressure Gen G are under as well, because as much as you can hear those cheers, Tom, not a lot of them are for Gen G.
Brilliant, but he's got support now. Should at least be, oh, what on earth? Aspas is just the conductor of this crowd. A little messy, gets the job done on one, but there we go. A little bit of a bite back, but it's quickly quelled. Seeker certainly do, but King now blinded, falls away, actually still standing. Cozy, you wanted this player to step up, and he might just be doing that. Makes a damn good go of it. He needs a clean kill here. There's a chance, and it's a miss. Oh, but it's a follow-up.
He's got a swap out.
Rifle spray and pray for it. What a clutch.
Pulls off the 1v2. The shorty.
I am speechless. And this is only map 1. They're not quite that far out, but what a snap from TS. And then she gets it. Lovely work, Sadak. Huge value in this round. There's so many. Got flooding on out, and Genji mopping them all up.
Nice.
Wait a second, the view's still going to be coming in. Has to deny! He's done it! It's King leading the way with the Red Bull clutch. Rifle found, and Genji in tatters. OT calling. We ain't done no way have we done this one yet. Oh my God, how have they done that? Oh, it's sunshine in São Paulo for Loud. Genji, man. That is heartbreak.
Hats off to them. Absolutely phenomenal play from them today.
And that was the Prime Gaming post-match highlights. Loud, they take their first victory of 2023. I'm joined once again by Mitch and Tom. I missed the crowd already. I actually miss it.
Yeah,
what an experience.
They heard that there might be a chance to meet Loud outside, and they were like, "Oh, screw it, I'm out. I'm gone already." It is as empty as it could be in here, but honestly, don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't either. What a game, what a game.
Absolutely. I mean, with that kind of performance as well, that was edge of your seat if you're a Loud fan. It looked like it was certainly over and done with. Map 3 was coming. We were excited to see Split, but they dug deep to pull this one out. And there's just so many players to look at here, but really, I didn't expect to see that Brimmy up the top.
Yeah, for sure. Like, the thing is, New Boy on the block, completely new role as well. I think it's so impressive with these younger players how well they've managed to adapt, but I wanted to put a focus on Meteor, because he was someone who, throughout this matchup, okay, sure, you had the Neon a lot of the time going in first, but he was fantastic with the openers, and then you had this spin round where basically it had to be every single ult, a 4-ult retake thrown in by Loud, because they just couldn't do anything. They were struggling so much to get back into these sites. And okay, sure, after that, still a few other rounds went back the other way, but I feel like that was a round that really just lit the torch under this squad.
It really did feel like the turning point of the game. I mean, when you go into a round like that, you commit everything. Certainly, if you lose it, it is done. That is the turning point in the other direction. But for them, they managed to put it on the board, and your immediate question is, as we always say when we're casting, Tom, you know, okay, we've seen you use all your ults, well done, you got a round. I'd be surprised if you didn't. You have to follow it up afterwards. We've got to see you do it when you don't have those ultis, and they did. And look, altogether, this was one of the most exciting games I think that we've gotten to see, but I can only imagine from the Korean perspective, hearing that crowd just roar and then shut down as you start to get close. Once they got to the end of the game and their opponents are making the comeback, that energy's got to shut you down.
I mean, King was right. They were silenced for a little bit.
For a bit.
You guys mentioned that turning point. Let's take a look at that one more time, because for me, I was ready, Tom, to go to Split. I was ready.
Yeah, this was one of those things, like, just throughout this round, they lost that opener. The afterplants were just sublime, but they basically just spammed those ults to get them something. Because that was the thing, that was the momentum breaker. That was a moment where, on the side of Loud, they'd lost a streak of rounds in a row. They were being blasted by the sheer pace of their opponents, and just nothing was working. So they just went, okay, we got 4 ults, we're 4v5, let's just use absolutely everything here. And they came out with 3 players, and that was sort of the, okay, we can get back into this game. And that's where we saw players like Aspas start to come back online and really see some life in the squad.
It was, I mean, you spoke about that experience. You were a little bit worried maybe Genji, there might be a bit of a gap, and I think that's probably what happened, you know, towards the end of that game, for Loud to come back into it, and the fact that Genji couldn't just hold on.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's got to be one of the toughest games they've ever played. The toughest game they've ever played, I think, without a doubt. I'd love to hear it from them later on, but I have to say, map 1, we talked about experience over on King's part. He delivered a pretty good game, but I felt like he really passed the torch on to TS when it came to that second map. We had some questions around how he'd perform. Remember, this is a map that previously they did not do very well on, and now they're coming in, having the IGL on that stage in front of that crowd and that team on the other side. It was looking like a serious challenge, but in the end, TS was able to step up to the plate. Shame that despite it being so close, they don't push it to a third map, because they deserved to well, to take that map off
Yeah,
Loud,
I know.
finally.
Yeah, out of all of the teams we had to say goodbye to, because obviously it's a single elimination, Genji are eliminated, I feel almost the hardest, the saddest about this one, because Tom, I wanted to see if they could do more. They had so much going on.
But that's the thing. I think in both maps they had a showing of clearly their attacking side has a lot of structure. The supportive players have been fantastic. You've got these sort of brilliant entry players in the form of someone like Meteor. And I think considering this is their first event and they come up against the core of a World Championship team, coming up against players like Aspas, who has been able to single-handedly beat teams in the past and adapt and shut him down over time, this is a fantastic showing. And I think that, especially when you consider, like, even DRX have looked a bit shakier at times, they definitely deserved a map. And I think going into Pacific, they could easily be a team that makes it to Japan.
I think that's a very fair statement. Yeah, regionally, there's no reason that they can't push up. And considering what they managed to field here today, the improvements that we've seen, I think it's without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm with you there. APAC, a lot of strong teams in this tournament. Now, before the break, we asked you to vote for the player of the match. The votes are in. There was a lot of good choices there. I don't know what you guys would have gone for this one. Oh, the Brazilian crowd buck came second after Aspas. I'm going to say, feel like Kawazin's robbed a little bit here.
The thing is, it's like Aspas is going to have those showy, high-impact rounds, and especially in that last map, we had a turning point, but he also had a turning point of his own where he was just able to win 1 or 2 rounds for them individually, which has so much value. I will say, though, for me, Kawazin coming onto the stage, 17 years of age, playing with a team that the expectations, when he was on NIP, the expectations were, win a map? Win a map would be cool, guys.
That'd be
Whereas
great.
for all the Loud fans here, it's like, we win or that's not enough. Like,
Yeah.
they came in cocky and for a very good reason. So the fact that someone that young had such a phenomenal showing throughout both maps and playing a more supportive role at times, I'm really impressed with him.
Yeah, I think it has to be said that this guy in map 1 was phenomenal. We said it a million times. He started well. He finished fantastic. Game 2, you might be thinking, oh, I didn't really see that much of him in the highlights, so yeah, he doesn't deserve the MVP. But actually, it was more of the assist game that was impressive. He had 16 kills, I think 17 deaths, if I recall correctly, and 15 assists.
Wow.
He was right up there.
Decent.
You know, the guy was participating quite a bit, it's fair to say. One of those flashes doesn't hit, and in a game like that, it makes all the difference.
And also, Aspas collecting dogs. He's got his first one already.
He's
on,
got his first
2023.
one.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Now, you know, coming to 2023, Loud, they lost the Bold, so we decided to lend one to them today. It is a sideshow
Oh,
with
it's not me.
Sadak
Okay, good.
in the Verizon post-match interview.
Thanks, I guess, Yinsu. Appreciate that one. Yeah, I'm stood by with the IGL of Loud. It's Sadak. And that's our first overtime of lock-in. That was a crazy game. I want to ask, were you and the team feeling any of the pressure with the crowd just hanging off every round there at the end?
I think we were just enjoying ourselves, actually. Like, we were just having a lot of fun and just playing the game.
Yeah. The double duelist, we got to see you out on the Rays. That was fun to watch. But it seemed like the defense side was struggling a bit there, and Genji really pushed you. What was going wrong, and what did you have to fix up towards the end there to pull it through?
I think we're not used to that kind of playstyle here in Brazil. So it was really fast, and we didn't know quite what to do. Like, we tried a different approach every single round, but it just wasn't working. But after a while, we understand that we had to do something else. I'm not going to say, of course, but we had to do something else, and that worked. So, yeah, then the game was us.
Yeah, you definitely got pushed. It was a very close game.
Yes.
But you managed to come out on top. You progressed to the next round, and you were up there with your team celebrating. Did it feel strange to not be there celebrating with Sassy and Sassy and Pancada? The two are just linked in my head, you see. The two are linked.
I mean, for me, it's actually a new team. So they're young players. The emotion is there. Yeah, I mean, I kind of miss them a little bit, of course, because all the time we spend together. But this is, as I said, a new team, and it's fantastic.
Okay, so talk to me about the new players then, because I was talking to your coach, and he said that most of the scouting was basically done by you, that you really wanted to pick up these two younger, kind of less experienced players, Tuiz and Kawanzin. So what did you see in them? What's the potential there?
So it wasn't like only me, it was more of a team effort.
Right, okay.
So Kawan for us, it was like an obvious pick, because after Sassy left, he left a slot, right? And Kawan was really good. We knew he was really good, so it was like an actual fit. We didn't know he was that good, but he's really good. And Tuiz for us was more like, okay, we need a controller player. We need someone who has a lot of aim. We need someone who is like, he has no ego, you know, so he can learn the game. So Twist for us was a natural fit. We knew him, we knew his attitude. So yeah, he turned out to be really great also.
Yeah, both of those players had a fantastic performance in the game as well.
Amazing.
And I'm just looking forward to seeing your team continue to compete. The crowd was going nuts. It was a pleasure to watch as well. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
And we'll send it back over to Yinsu to close out the show. But I'm still feeling bad about that comment, Yinsu. You got to make up for it.
Hey, we've got a bold, you've got a bold. It's only fair.
Thanks, paper thin.
It's only fair. It's only fair. Now, I love how Sadak is like, I didn't even realize Kawazine was that good. Like, we knew he was good, but not that good. I think that was what we all collectively
Yeah,
thought.
and look, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. What he managed to do on the first map was unbelievable. Then he's pivoting to a fantastic support play afterwards as well. And all that considering the fact that, you know, I would know this guy over on NIP for playing something like a Sova, and he's coming in here now just hard supporting and playing incredible.
Yeah, now we saw a lot of Brazilian players on stage today. One of them is now I'm gonna show you the HyperX reflex even of the moment of the day from one of them, and that is Heat. You guys weren't on the desk with me right here, but he got an ace here and it was kind of nutty.
This is just him all over, though, isn't it? I think that's something that Brazil in general is spoiled for choice when it comes to just ridiculous aimers. And those star duelists just seem to come in heaps and bounds. Still another to play in the tournament a little bit later on, but yeah, just sheer style from Heat. It's unfortunate that they couldn't really build this into something later on, but he definitely tried his damnedest.
Yeah, he did indeed. But luckily, we do still have a lot of 2 Brazilian teams.
Yes.
And Sentinel. So they count? I don't know. Kinda.
For this event, they do.
I feel like we need the Brazilian fans to tell us if they count. I feel like it's not up to us. But we still have them in the tournament. And speaking of the tournament, the bracket, it is looking kind of wild. Single elimination once again. Every single time we see 2 teams play, someone is going home. And Mitch is starting to fill in here. We're getting closer and closer to that circle.
Yeah, it certainly is. Some of these matchups are looking incredibly one-sided, if I'm honest. Looking at the Loud and KC game, that is a tough matchup after what we saw here today. KC certainly struggled in some of their previous games, but that NRG versus Giants game has me excited. Both teams played incredibly clean and incredibly meticulous Valorant. I cannot wait to see them butt heads.
This is looking a very good for the Americas League right now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's because all our best teams are in the other bracket.
Hey, Tom, what are you
hey,
saying, man?
that's not
Can Yanks
playing.
gonna be coming after you? Looking good for the Americas. Cloud9 are in trouble. They're up against DRX.
Oh, I just meant that
Also-
because there's 4.
Yeah, but
Well, yeah, okay. I mean,
Talon
that's-
also looked
they got a
good
lot of
today.
chances.
Yeah, Talon looked good, so I
They
don't know
did.
what's going to happen in that game.
They did. I mean, they're up against a strong opponent as well in an EG.
Yeah.
Look, they looked good. They looked like a disruptive team that could upset on a day, but I think we have to be honest that EG might be the favorites walking into that one. They played incredible.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure to have you two on the desk. And I believe the next time we see you, you're going to be back on the car. So that's going to be very exciting. We're actually going to take a break, guys, just for a day. You know, we need to give the Brazilian fans a day off, rest their throats, and so on. But we will be back on Friday with more games. So make sure you tune in, and we'll see you then.
The Alpha bracket started with 16 teams, and after today, we'll be down to just 8. Hello and welcome to day 3 of the lock-in, the biggest VCT event ever. And here we go. EG versus Heretics. I hope you feel hype, and I have to say, this is going to be quite the matchup.
The lineup is perfect.
Kellogg's is just killing everyone! They're trying to bypass him and he just gets 4 kills! Boom! What is happening?
There we go. Good damage by Ethan. He's down with his pistol. That's 3 kills. Boostio's able to grab 1, 2, and now took in for a little more. Then catch him on the way through. It's the timing.
Don't do it!
He's
Don't
been
do it!
caught
Don't do it!
The map closed out, and EG experienced the roar of the crowd for them. 13-8. It's going to be a big round from the defenders. Just kidding. Boostio's already dead. Close corner for Ethan. That's 1 good damage. Nicely handled by Heretics all in all. Inside the smoke, he's up close. There's a kill. The dash into the site from Jogamo, and he's caught another one. I need a replay of that immediately. It's time to make that retake happen, and Boostio stops him with a stinger. EG has done it, and Team Heretics are going home.
But if it's anything that's going to do the trick, surely 5 Patty Pans is going to be able to take on MIBR.
Straight down the one angle. Dodge with a flash. Maurice is set up for it. 3 in a round, a Red Bull clutch.
Look how fast this is.
That's absolutely rapid and got it. But he's not wasting any time. Cruz has got the most to do once more. Spraying him down a swing. What is that? Talon taking map number 1.
Silence in the crowd completely there. What a performance.
It's one, it's Heat, can't claim the kill. A double swing, perfect timing from on high. Wide out in the open, has to dodge the flash, but the swing was good.
I'm loving watching this Talon team.
Careful, surely. Light to the side, not really much follow-up, and easily cleaned.
Every round is a joy. It's so fun.
The fuse, Sushi Boys. Waiting, and it's a full stick! Talon winning with the Red Bull clutch, and they silence the crowd. Talon, they upset the hometown team, and they take it in 2 maps.
What a performance from the Pacific team.
This is a huge moment for Brazilian Valorant. Loud, their pride and joy, walking on stage in front of a home crowd. But I cannot imagine how much pressure Gen G are under as well, because as much as you can hear those cheers, Tom, not a lot of them are for Gen G.
Brilliant, but he's got support now. Should at least be. Oh, what on earth? Aspas is just the conductor of this crowd. Oh, Messi gets the job done on 1, but there we go. A little bit of a fight back, but it's quickly quelled. The Seekers certainly do, but King now blinded, falls away. Actually still standing. Cozy, you wanted this player to step up, and he might just be doing that. Makes a damn good go of it. He needs a clean kill here. There's a chance, and it's a miss. Oh, but it's a follow-up.
He's got a swap out.
Rifle spray and pray. What a clutch!
Pulls off the 1v2. The shorty.
I am speechless. And this is only map 1. They're not quite that far out, but what a snap from TS. And then she gets it. Lovely work, Sadak. Huge value in this round. There's so many. Got flooding on out, and Gen G mopping them all up.
Nice.
Wait a second, the view's still going to be coming in. Has to deny! He's done it! It's King leading the way with the Red Bull clutch. Rifle found, and Gen G in tatters. OT calling. We ain't nowhere we've done this one yet. Oh my God, how have they done that? Oh, it's sunshine in São Paulo for Loud. Gen G, man. That is heartbreak.
Hats off to them. Absolutely phenomenal play from them today.